I'm Sherry. Welcome to my studio. I wanted to do a couple of different kinds of experiments with these three flow aids. The first is Liquitex pouring medium, then we have Golden GAC 800, and then we have Flood Floetrol. In the first video, I tested each for clarity, consistency, and sheen. And in this video, we're going to see how each of them mix with three different types of colorants. This is how I poured each sample. Little puddles, blend them together to see if they overlap or if they combine, and then a little bullseye to see if they push, blend, stay transparent, or what. In the previous video, we compared these three colorants. In this video, we'll compare Golden Tube Acrylics, Ceramcoat Craft Paint, in two different ways with primary elements. I do want to apologize for how late I am with this video, and for the loud background noise, and for not getting everything in the camera every time. But I didn't want to make you wait while I tried filming it one more time. So please bear with me about another minute and everything will be in camera, but still noisy. So let's get started. The first one we want to look at is the Floetrol mixed with the Golden Tube Acrylics. I had a little problem with my yellow ochre. It is quite old and it came out chunky, which you'll see later, so I retested it and I did not get as much paint in this one as I did in the others. If you recall, we're doing 10 parts flowing medium, 1 part colorant. So as you can see, there is a little bit of cell action here and here because of the Floetrol, and you can see through to a certain degree, and there is pushing to a certain degree. Next we have the GAC 800 mixed with the Golden Tube, and this is where you can see the chunks from my yellow ochre. You can see transparency, you can see a little movement here and a little bit of seeing through. It does a great push with a slight bit of blending around the edges. And then the third one in that grouping is with pouring medium. Good transparency here, good push here, not a lot of bleeding, but there is a tiny bit of transparency. All of the paints except for the Ceramcoat are supposed to be transparent. Craft paints, you don't know whether they're transparent or not. They don't give you the little thing on the bottle. And the reason I've always used Ceramcoat is because of their ability to cover. So I'm just going to go ahead and guess that all of them are opaque. So anyway, let's look at it. Lots of movement, tiny bit of cell action, totally opaque. But with the GAC 800, it becomes transparent somewhat, still continues to push, continues to overlap, and then boy, with the pouring medium, it just went everywhere. That's a drop of primary element, sorry. Little bit of transparency, but not much. Some good bleed here. And next, let's go to the two styles with primary elements. When I first started this project, I hadn't gotten my new shipment. And I had some old style when they were made by another company. Still made by Leslie, but it was under another brand name. I did not have any of the Vivid Clear, so I just used straight into the pouring medium. I used a heaping 1/8 teaspoon with 25 milliliters of each of these. But then when I mixed the paint, and I did about a quarter teaspoon per ounce of the Vivid, and then I mixed that 10-to-1 with the medium, and that is what makes the color difference. So the Floetrol with the primary elements, it almost blended totally together. It did keep somewhat separate. You can see there's red and there's gold. I did move this while it was drying, and that's why these little funky tails. So it's got a goober in it too. You can see transparency, the red through the gold here, and the gold through the red here. No push at all. With the GAC 800, it looks like you took a hard candy and melted it. That is just so shiny and pretty. No push. Some transparency, but not a lot. You get a lot of transparency here with the pouring medium. It's beautiful. But again, no push whatsoever. Then I made what I call the paint with their medium. And it's not a pouring medium, it's a gloss medium. It's made to turn a primary element into a paint. And I used about a quarter teaspoon per ounce. And what I learned is that the dark colors don't need as much as the light colors. As you can see, my gold hardly shows up at all. But with the Floetrol, you get this nice transparency at the edges, and you get a little bit of push. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can. There's the gold, the red, the gold, the red. With the GAC 800, beautiful overlap. I think if the gold had been stronger, this would be even more apparent, but you can see through both colors. And you get a tiny bit of push. Here's the gold, here's the red. Here's the gold, here's the red. And then this one is really pretty. As I said before, needed a lot more gold in there, but you can see through it. You can see nice sparkle in there, and it's good and shiny. And then again, gold, red, gold, red. Good transparency. So probably what I would do if I wanted to use primary elements in a pour and not just as an add-on, I would probably mix it with this first, get it to the strength you wanted, and then I would add the pouring medium and probably keep the proportions the same. 10 parts medium to 1 part paint. So after 21 cards and almost my entire bottle of pouring medium, half of my bottle of GAC 800, this is what I've determined. I have not been using enough pouring medium. I've been using 4 parts paint to 1 part pouring medium to 1 part water. I am going to start using half paint, half pouring medium, and I am going to try to keep all 3 on hand for different uses. I will only use pouring medium probably with this. It's too expensive, it's too hard to find. For everything else, I will either use Floetrol or GAC 800, or I might try mixing the 2 together. And that's what I learned. I hope it helped. Thank you for watching. Please leave any questions or comments you have about any of my videos or techniques, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. And if you wouldn't mind, please hit that subscribe button. Thanks again. Bye.